Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. Tonight we've got the usual three-man crew of good-looking men. I'm gonna give the hot tag to my partner and let him introduce himself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, if you love your mama's favorite shooters, check us out at Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, or Country Air Brand on Twitter. And I'll pass it out to the senior official.
Hey guys, referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the ref brand, and Waffles, Take It Home podcast.
Waffles. I must say, Perch, I was very inspired by your breakfast last week of pancake and waffles. And I went with the waffles and French toast this weekend.
Ooh, a lethal combination.
Yes.
That's real good.
Yep, that crispiness on the outside of a waffle and that softness of a perfect French toast.
Wow. I have to say, I was definitely thinking about French toast that week too. It crossed my mind as I wonder about French toast with this too. I'm so glad you were able to do it. Good results.
Yes, very good results. Because I went out for waffles to this restaurant, Ellie's, out here, and we're sitting there, and I see about 2 plates of French toast come by. Like, goddamn, those look really fucking good. So me and the girl will go back and forth like, hey, you just want to maybe split an order of French toast? And, I'll get my waffle, you get what you want. It's game time.
Oh, that's
no
great. Regrets. That's where it's at.
No regrets. How was everybody else's breakfast search?
Was good. I stopped at a coffee joint called the Eternal Coffee in Grand Rapids this weekend, and it was great. The guy made my coffee right in front of me from like the beans. I ordered, just my normal order, a large black coffee.
Yep.
And we started talking about Pokemon and pro wrestling and stuff, and he literally made it from the beans to grinding it to pouring it over. I've never seen the process done, but one of those giant glass contraptions.
Okay, maybe a French
like a pour over, maybe.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Freaking, I'm not gonna put him over, but I know Campbell Myers has put that on one of his stories before. I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, this thing was nice, and a casual conversation, and a guy knew New Japan, and told him Will Osprey was in town, and he's, oh man, and recreates his finisher with when he puts his elbow pad
on. Big fan.
It got me all hyped for the show. I love going into towns and just casually bring it up somehow in conversation, pro wrestling, and when you get someone to do the full, when he puts that elbow pad on, you can imagine me getting just as hyped. And and that coffee was delicious, phenomenal.
Awesome. Zach, how was your breakfast?
I don't have an exciting story like that. Not much. I didn't have no waffles, no French toast, but I did go with the classic steak and eggs.
That was another option.
I will say it wasn't the best breakfast I had. I got steak and eggs. They were decent, but I wanted hash browns as well, and the hash browns were just burnt and hard. So, not the best, but it is what it is. Done. Yes, sir. Got the breakfast on field. I actually had it for prior to the match Saturday.
Oh, no wonder you were so up and ready, full of energy.
Oh, yeah.
It's good stuff. All right. It's even better stuff?
Bangers
are even better stuff. Hey, Perch.
Ooh.
You have a banger of the week that's better stuff?
Yeah, banger of the week. This one came driving across country, driving from Chicago up to Grand Rapids, and I put on a good old classic Gangstar CD. And Moment of Truth is this week's banger of the week.
Oh, you throwing it back.
About as good as a song gets, from the beat behind it and the rhyming and the storytelling and just painting a picture as I'm driving. Just a great song, one that's been around for as long as I can remember. Loving good hip hop and DJ Primo and just good action. Love some Gangstar, and Moment of Truth as good as it gets.
Yeah, Gangstar is great. Primo, great. Rip the Guru. Yeah, I grew up on that one. Lots of time in the gym playing that album and playing bunches of Gangstar albums. So yes, definitely. I'm sad it took close to 100 episodes for a Gangstar song to make it on here, but here we are, baby.
Oh yeah, and the first time Capsule here, the 100, the first Hondo, they made it.
Yeah, that's what's important. It made it in the first 100 episodes.
Definitely a great one. It was around in video games too and stuff growing up.
Yep, Gangstar was in a lot of Maddens and pretty sure they were in one of the Def Jam games. With some of
I think one I remember was a Dave Mira BMX, or Matt Hoffman, Dave Mira, Pro BMX. Back in maybe 02, 03.
No, yeah, that era was strong for Gangstar and MOB to be on video games. They just had best hype vibe music back then. Get your amp.
Classic eras.
Yes, sir. All right, Zach.
What up?
I spent all weekend with you. Did you get any chance to watch any wrestling?
I'm being blunt. Not really this week. I watched the classic stuff on YouTube, checking out Red Dragon. Was watching a lot of the Briscoes lately, but nothing really on TV. SmackDown. We were at a show during Friday Night SmackDown. I did watch the Vince McMahon clip. That was something that was very intriguing to me. I actually have SmackDown right now on Hulu where I'm doing the podcast right now. So I'm watching the opening. They're doing the story between Riddle and Roman. But other than that, no, I'm looking forward to actually seeing Elias tonight, seeing what they do there. But yeah, very light week of watching wrestling for me this week.
Okay, all right. And Perch, what have you been watching?
Man, what some great matchups. I would have to start with one of the best matches I saw of the week, which was Dax against Will Osprey from last Wednesday. Dax is on a great level right now. He can work tag teams, he can work singles matches, but what I love most about it is old school wrestling. It's good old fashioned storytelling, simple pro wrestling, and they build the story up. And by the end of it, whether it's 10, 15 minutes in, they don't know, they leave the crowd not knowing what direction it's going to go, and tosses and turns at the end. I think I really just like the Dax matches and a guy like Will Ospreay.
It brings up a very weird problem because as a tag team wrestler, I love to see it. I love to see a tag team wrestler show his flexibility and deliver in both tags and singles. But he is I know we brought it up a couple of weeks ago about wrestlers on another level. He is seriously on another level right now. And I think it's a shame that probably the only reason he won't be in top 10 best wrestlers is because he's going to do mostly tag matches and never get those big singles matches. And it makes me sad because he deserves it. He is putting on just clinics.
Whole nother level. Everything is clicking. It all makes sense. It's all precise. It's all snug and fits in there.
The emotion is there.
You hear that, PWI? Doc Simmons believes Dax should be in the top 10, along with moving him up higher on the ranks and moving me from 501 onto the ranks.
Yeah, because I'm super close with everybody at PWI. They definitely listen to this podcast. They know it exists. I'm sure they listen to it all the time.
I said what up to Righteous Reg on the way into to a show in Dallas.
Oh, awesome.
I introduced myself and oh hell yeah.
That's the one I tangentially know.
But yeah, that Dax is a different level, and a guy like Osprey, phenomenal match. I was looking forward to that, and yeah, they put on. Jericho and Ortiz started that match off hot, started the night off hot. Lion tamer or lion salt right away, and then blocked with the knees, just beautiful. They went right away, and got the crowd invested, and by the end of it, it was an honorable defeat where it's like, man, it gets you hyped to see what the next chapter.
Oh, yep. I'm watching it right now. Love Ortiz going with the Minoru Suzuki. I'll cut my own hair.
Oh, how about Eddie Kingston coming in and cheating, full blown cheating. And then, oh my God, he just kicked out. And then by the time they flip flop it, it's oh my God, he just it was done so well. That match was beautiful. A great way to start out the night. I really enjoyed that match. And then the stipulation on top of it was like, whoa, Ortiz takes it to another level. And that Tony Storm against Britt Baker, damn good match too. Talk about two girls who are just good characters, good pro wrestlers. They know exactly who they are, and inside the ring, they're able to hit a different stride. I like good women's wrestling, especially AEW, and to see a matchup like Tony against Britt is different than a lot of matches I would see on AEW. So really liked it and didn't know what way it was going to go either. Good storytelling coming out of it as well. Ladder match was out of this world. At least 4 or 5 moments in there where it's like, dude, you got to rewind that and see what happened. Being a kid growing up with the Dudleys and the Hardys, Edge and Christian, this is if anyone grew up watching that or liking that at all, which a lot of us did, you should go back and watch the ladder match from last week, because in 2022, that same stuff is going on, and they're putting their own twists on it. Very, very cool to see. But the matchup of the week that I liked was Dante against Moxley. They kicked it off on Rampage and had one hell of a fight, knowing that Dante was going to have to fight his way up. He did a damn good job doing so. Love that match and can't wait to see that those two meet again down the road, whenever it may be.
Hell yeah. No, I was talking about it with Sullivan. You can tell the guys who are coming up in AEW, and I think Dante's one of them. It might not be next week, might not be next year, but they're definitely invested in him, and they're giving him some huge opportunities, and he's delivering, which is what you hope happens.
Mm-hmm.
Me myself, catching up on AEW right now, watching the Wardlow versus 20 security guards match. Just gonna
how about those security guards?
Yep. Just gonna do some old tape study so we can beat the premiere this weekend to see. Just saw Kenny get power bombed on everybody.
I think Dan the Dad takes a murderous.
Yeah. See all the homies. Marston just took a clothesline. Meyer Campbell just got taken out. SK. So this has been fun. This is how you have fun with squash matches. Oh, there goes Moses.
You're about to see Jay Flower up in there too.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, shout out to all the St. Louis and other Midwest boys who were in that match. Really, I've been watching a lot of still catching up on the Best of Super Juniors. One match that stood out was Yo versus Clark Connors. They're still slowly telling that story with Yo. which is why I always appreciate New Japan. Most stories in real life don't happen in 2-3 weeks or a month. They take time. And that led me to going back to my roots and watching lots of Taka Michinoku, which I pulled out a bunch of his stuff this past weekend. Taka's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's back in New Japan, and he was in a couple 6-men competition throughout the tournament, and been studying him, watching some of his old stuff, and remembering how much I like him and how damn influential he is on wrestling today. So that's been real fun. It's always good to have those feelings of youth. Oh, there goes Camaro. But yeah, not much, just some old school studying. But since I was throwing it back, why don't we throw it back into what we did this past weekend? Zach, I already kind of started out on it, talking about me doing some talk stuff. Friday night we were at ICW. How was that?
Didn't go according to plan. This was for the family. As you can see, the Drake's Mindy, quiet. Sorry, got the dog over here crying. But as you can see, the Drake Dynasty at ICW might be more of a threat than the Rose Dynasty. They definitely are more used to getting those wins, and they're very cutthroat. They started off the show CJ versus Sierra. I don't have no love loss for CJ. He made his decision trying to stick with Drake, but unfortunately, when you lose, Drake is trying to set an example that Dukes isn't setting, and they kick CJ out. And we were trying to help him out and kick Mario and Jared Jacks out of the Drake Dynasty, maybe get their heads out of their asses. And unfortunately, for some reason, Nell Dillinger and Juan Hernandez wanted to get into our business. We were on the verge of hitting Air Buddies on Jared Jacks, and I guess a distraction cost us our second reign as the ICW Tag Team Champions.
A distraction, a low blow, and a double DDT.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, like the ref, I didn't see the low blow until after when we got the film sent to us, which I don't know if Drake is paying off the cameraman because that was a very quick view away from the low blow.
all in Chris's pockets.
That's what I'm saying. I think Drake is realizing who to also pay off. And yeah, Chris, we got somebody talking to you. But I mean, I guess that's not the only person that we should be checking by ringside. Am I right?
It is not. Yeah, while ICW didn't turn out the way we wanted, guess what? Twin Magic, BCW didn't turn out the way we wanted.
Yes, BCW. We had a 30-minute Ironman tag team match. We were the semi-main event for the show. We were taking on the Caribbeans. This all started out a tag team match out of respect, us versus the Caribbeans, back in December. We called it out plenty of times. We were not upset about the dirty tactics. We realized when you're working the Caribbeans, they'll do what it takes to win. We went for a handshake, man, handshake and a hug. Instead, they wanted to throw dick kicks, which I think, Doc, you're probably getting a little bit tired of as of late.
Yeah, man, y'all gonna stop attacking my nuts. I know I said I don't want to have kids, but I still like my nuts.
Yeah. So, this started off, and then they were upset because they wanted to bring Axel Rico into this. We got Tommy Rich. We got the W there. And then we had a best of 3 series. They ended with the Iron Man match. Man, we were rolling. We were up 1-0.
Yep.
But then still never feels so good. Am I mad? No, I guess it's a good strategy. They sacrificed a point because in result they ended up getting 2 pins off those steel chairs.
Yep, 2 pins off the chairs.
I mean, that's fine, but they just I mean, it is what it is. They haven't been at ICW for a while. They probably are missing the hardcore violence. They tried putting me through a door twice. Didn't feel good on the hip. I want to say around the end, we had it tied up 5-5 until a guy that we should have checked. But we gave him forgiveness. The big stepper, I don't know why now it all explains why he decided to put the security shirt back on. He was in on the whole thing. He didn't open the door last month. This month, if I'm not mistaken, did he push a Manny on top of you?
That's what it looked like to me.
Man, yeah, we had 40 seconds left. Doc had Manny rolled up to try to get that so important advantage. Unfortunately, with Armando Alvarez out there, he pushed Jay Manny on top of Doc Simmons. 1, 2, 3. Your mama's favorites. We were down by 1. Clock up against the wall. Caribbeans did what they did best. They tucked their tails and they ran. As a professional, I think we should do everything in the ring. The fact that they wanted to run around the arena with 40 seconds left, is it smart? Yes. Do I think it's cowardly? Yes. They're not fighters. Then being the number one contenders to the Bruce A Tag Championships, you guys better hope you don't win those belts, because I promise you this is far from over. I'm a man who I accept the loss if I lost, but when you lose to someone in such a cowardly fashion, it rubs you the wrong way. The worst part is we almost tied it up, but the clock was against us.
Yep. 43 seconds ain't enough for us. Maybe that's enough for Chico and Jay Manny, but not enough time for us, unfortunately.
I mean, if we have had 44 seconds, because we had the 2 count, and right when 3 was coming, the timer went off.
Yep. It's unfortunate. But don't worry, your mama's favorites will be back. Like we posted earlier, gold, paper, dragons. We're chasing it all.
Yes, sir. And going off of that, just because we're talking about BCW, Mario, Jared Jackson, you guys got a match scheduled in July. We're watching those matches closer too, because we're going to come back for those ICW Tag Championships.
Yep. Far from over. Perchville. Hopefully you had a more successful weekend.
Yeah, it was a very fun weekend. Kicked things off Friday night on IWTV for Freelance Wrestling. Lots of good action that night. Holy smokes. Had the scramble match to begin with Cole and Tankman, and Bradley Prescott and Angel, just tons of people. At one point, I was asked to hold the beer, reminiscent of Beer City Bruiser, and it was climbing up to the top rope, so using my arm for the base. It was a fun moment that harkened back to some training from all sorts of different people. Some lucha, some Beer City Bruiser, and ref all at once. A fun way to start it out. I love those freelance scrambles. Very fun matches. Next match was a ladder match for the tag team titles. That match was off the charts.
Yep. Shout out to Darius Luttrell.
Darius catching for that
flatliner
on that flatliner. My God. I've never seen anything like that before. And the way he caught him, and the balance, and the agility,
strength, all that.
Doing what I can to save the ladder as well. Want to make sure safety for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm able to ensure that everyone was safe. Able to anchor the ladders as needed to make sure that the guys were able to do everything they wanted to do and did. There's that safety being number one, but allowing them to do what they want and not getting in the way. So Bucky and Darren had a great match. Darius, Coda had a great match, and the Bang Bros ended up winning with a 450 splash from the top after just a flip off the ladder, and then the 450 on top of it. Crazy match. Um, and then at intermission was needed to clear out the ladders for sure.
Yes. Check the canvas, make sure there's no tears.
It was crazy. In the next match, ended up having back-to-back matches. Luckily, though, that intermission was in there. But Alfonso Gonzalez against Kylie Ray. A fun story that's been brewing. Alfonso has been the dastardly heel, and Kylie is the ultimate babyface there. And and towards the end of the match, Alfonso put me in the way, and I took a kick from Kylie Ray, took me out. But I was able to see the final shoulders on the ground for a 1-2-3, and Kylie ended up winning, I believe.
Kind of woozy, can't tell.
Yeah, totally can't tell. Shoulders were down.
You counted
so
three.
There may have
That's
been
all that matters.
there may have been blood on the on one of them, but yep, hell of a match. Crowd was going nuts. And then the main event that night was for the freelance world title. Storm Grayson challenging Ego Robert Anthony. Phenomenal match. No real shenanigans. Straight up, Storm Grayson gets the victory. 1-2-3, new freelance champion.
Ooh, no Frank the Clown, no
Frank was
secondary
out there.
outlaw.
Frank was definitely out there. I called him on his manager's license, and he presented it, so he had reason to be out there. And he didn't really get involved. I was on him, made sure, but he kept it tame. I think maybe a month ago he learned his lesson. Because very tame this time around, and a new champion. So very cool to see Storm win it.
Yep, grass at home, he's Storm Grayson.
Watching, when he had the green hair and the green kid as we were setting up the ring back in the day a couple of years ago. It's cool to see now he's the champion of that show that we were all trying to get onto. And being able to work that match for me was an absolute honor, and able to learn a lot from it too. And the match that was fun to watch that night was Brian Keith defending his championship against Trey Miguel. Bounty Hunter Keith is like, I want to be on the show that he's on just to watch him or ref him, or he's on a different level too right now, going back to that reference. Very fun to watch, and they put on one hell of a match. Really enjoyed it. And then went all the way up to Grand Rapids, Michigan for Warrior Wrestling. Had a nice, I think 6 matches on the night. I ended up having 2 matches. The first one was the Lucha Libre Championship match. Sam Adonis putting up his championship against Ray Leon. Amazing effort out of Ray, but he came up short by the 450. Sam Adonis fought through amazing adversity. He went for a dive in that match, and it was scary the way he landed. But he was able to power through and give the fans one hell of a show. And he ended up defending his championship and still winner, Sam Adonis. And then I had the main event that night on Fight TV, the War of Attrition match. Wild group of wrestlers in this match. It was for the Warrior Championship, and the champion, Will Osprey, defending his title against 7 other guys. Jeff Cobb, Jake Something, Swerve Scott, Brian Cage, Murder Hawk Monster, Brian Pillman. And I'm sure there's probably someone else that I forgot to mention.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, those type of matches, a lot of people in them.
Oh yeah, and Sam Adonis was in it. That's the champion. Unbelievable. It starts out with 4-on-4 randomly selected teams by the commission beforehand. It was all sanctioned in a boardroom.
Obviously.
I was there. As a
It was
official.
sanctioned in the same place that that Intercontinental Championship got won the first time.
Yep. It was
Same
a
place.
boardroom. Business gets done, and the teams were adjusted, and so it's 4-on-4, and whoever gets the pin, the losing team is eliminated. So there goes 4 guys, and the guy who gets a pin gets to choose who he has as a partner for the next pinfall. And after that, the pinfall goes down to a 1 versus 1. So it's a 3 falls match, and eliminated until one man stand. Unbelievable match. Brian Pillman ended up getting blind tagged by Will Osprey. And then Pillman hits his finisher on Jake something, goes for the pin. However, Brian Pillman was not legal, and Will Osprey came in and drilled him with that same finisher that the guy at the coffee shop was imitating earlier.
He pulled down that elbow pad.
Oh, and right to his own teammate, Brian Pillman. Boom.
I did not realize that was his teammate. I had seen it.
Strategically drilling his own teammate. For
what's up with all these smart ass heels?
And then taking the pinfall, and then
Not
had to roll Jake something out, and and then they went for the quick pin on Pillman, and he was able to kick out after a little bit, but yeah, wild times. They really strung together some moments, and it came down to Pillman and Osprey at the end. I would say Swerve Scott was definitely definitely hyped by the crowds. People loved him. Swerve's house definitely belongs in Grand Rapids, and he had some great moments in that match. Incredible moonsault off of Jake something's chest to the outside of the ring. I've never seen that before. From a man of his size too. He's a large man.
Yeah. He's not small. He's a tall motherfucker.
Good old Strickland. He's a big guy. And yeah, just a fun match. Will Osprey ended up getting tossed from the top turnbuckle through a table on the outside. Boom, and it took him out. And Casey Navarro ended up cashing in his gold medallion. One thing led to another, and Brian Cage came out and murdered Pillman, and Casey pinned Pillman, and Casey's the new champion.
Ooh, big and little machine.
You could hear a pin drop in that place. It was like a wild match. And then the finale, you could hear a pin drop in that arena. Everyone was shocked that the bad guys ended up taking over that night.
Yeah, especially on Pillman is like superhero babyface at Warrior.
Yeah, they loved him. And yeah, it was a fun match. Wild experience. The ups, the downs, the roller coaster, the finales, the close falls. Yeah, it was a fun weekend and fun matches to be a part of. In both nights, both companies. Great experiences and great learning, being able to work with everybody. A moment where Jeff Cobb ended up hitting a big old suplex, and the heels came in and just blasted the baby faces. That was one of my favorite moments of the night. Just out of control.
Yep.
Out of control. But loved it. Very, very fun weekend.
Very nice, fellas. Yep. The wrestling was good to us this weekend, and I expect it to be good to us this weekend, but we'll get into that later. What we'll get into now is our topic of the week. And I got this idea because, hey, I don't know if I brought it up here, but I saw the new Batman. It was pretty good. Robert Pattinson, a good, young, angry Batman. Thought I liked all the characters for the most part overall. Had some problems with the story, but I think it's a good watch. If you wanted to watch it, I think you'll enjoy it. If you think there's too many Batmans out and you didn't want to watch this one, I don't think you'll enjoy it. But this, of course, comes around every time there's a new Batman. Who are your favorite Batmen? There's been a lot now, and I asked for their top 3. Doesn't have to be in any order. But, I'll start first. Got to go with Adam West to start. I'm just a huge fan of the old school 60s Batman. Huge part of the younger kid days of the Cahote. At my grandparents' house watching that was always on the little Nick at Night after going to bed. Huge fan of Adam West. Huge fan of Adam West and Family Guy. The 1960s Batman movie is highly underrated. Robin, get the bat shark repellent. Classic line.
He is so great. And the colors and the sounds and his voice, his delivery.
The comic cutaways and the fights so that you get the biff and the pows and booms.
His size and like his stature is just so great.
Yep. The suits later are definitely more designed to have muscles on them, and that one does not. But he is a wide man in that costume, though. He's
so great.
Yep. Love me some Adam West. There's definitely going to be a theme with this that hopefully you guys don't place my age, but once again, a big part of my childhood, it's got to be Michael Keaton Batman. Love me the first 2. The first one I have probably seen at least 150 times. Just classic, great Joker to go off of, and Jack Nicholson. You get so many Batmobiles. You get the Batmobile, you get the Batjet. And Keaton is like the perfect eccentric side of Batman. I think Adam West played the public face of what you expect Batman should be like. And Keaton got the eccentric billionaire that hangs with bats all the time, like down to the T. And
classic 90s news reporter.
Yeah.
Era.
Michael Keaton was huge back then. There was no bigger star. And last one's got to be Kevin Conroy, Batman the Animated Series. I think that was a big part of just that time period. I think a lot of people when they think of Batman's voice, they actually think about that one. When they think of the Joker's voice, they think of Mark Hamill from that. The Batman animated series is just hugely influential. It's one of the last ones of the Saturday morning cartoons, because you even get Batman Beyond, where Kevin Conroy reprises his role as Bruce Wayne. He had that perfect, sophisticated voice and air and just I'm always on top Batman voice. That I think we all think of when given enough time. Yeah, Batman can beat anybody. It's Kevin Conroy's voice that is the one that's talking out those plans. Zach.
All right, so I will go with like you, I'll go with Michael Keaton. Been on a big kick of watching the old school Batman, and truly enjoyed Michael Keaton. How animated Batman was with the villains. Jack Nicholson. When I was younger, I really didn't watch the old Batmans. I started watching them as I got older, so I didn't really know how great Jack Nicholson was as Joker, but definitely I agree with Doc on that one. For number 2, George Clooney. That was the first Batman movie I saw. It's the first one I can remember. George Clooney with Robin against Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dr. Freeze. So definitely George Clooney. But like I think my favorite one is probably just because like again reminds me a lot of being in junior high school was Christian Christian Bale, right? Is it Christian
Yep.
Bale?
Christian
Yeah,
Bale.
Christian Bale. The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. That was like probably the first real trilogy I watched of Batman. So like always enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story of showing us how Batman became Batman. I like that they consistently had Scarecrow in all the movies, showing like, hey, like just because he beat the villain doesn't mean the villain goes away. So
Yep.
yeah, and then obviously Heath Ledger as the Joker, they had a good combination together.
Definitely. Yeah, no. Christian Bale was a hard one to cut from my list. But when I thought about it, it's like, I think I've actually watched the 1960s Batman a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. But no, it was a rough cut. It was a rough cut. Christian Bale. I mean, like so many core memories of mine are those movies. And just unlock like happy times of Christian Bale Batman. So I definitely have a lot of love for him, and it was a rough cut. Perch. Who are your Batmen?
And we had a VHS growing up. It was definitely like a recorded from HBO, but it was the Batman with the Penguin, Batman Returns.
Yep.
And like that was the first time I was introduced to Batman. Like, whoa, you put in this blank VHS with the Batman written on it. And like it's a dark, brooding movie.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is pretty damn cool. So I didn't know who Michael Keaton was or anything, but like that Batman in that world with like Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Christopher Walken as the political guy.
Yeah.
And the reporters and everybody. That Batman was the Batman I grew up with, and then went to Six Flags as a kid. And like that was the era.
Tim Burton.
Loved
There
it.
we go. I couldn't think. Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton, the director.
Yep. Of that era of Batman.
Mm-hmm. So love that one. And then the first movie I ever went to in the theater, I think was Val Kilmer as Batman. And that was a great movie. I loved him as Batman. And Chris O'Donnell as Robin. I was a big Robin fan too. And that was just a fun movie with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee and a lot of good side characters. So saw that one in the theater and loved it, and thought Val was good. Think Michael Keaton was better, but Val was also pretty damn good. But then I was legitimately a big George Clooney fan with From Dusk Till Dawn. I liked ER. I'd watch with my mom back in the day. So I was a big George Clooney fan. So I heard he was going to be Batman. And I was a little kid, had already seen the one in the theater a few years before. So I was so hyped to see George Clooney as Batman. So he'll always be my favorite. We saw that one in the theater too. My dad took us, and oh man, he'll forever be my Batman, George Clooney. So I'd say he's my favorite. But yeah, I love the other ones too. Adam West, that show I would watch with my parents and just love it. As funny as it gets, as campy as it gets. The villains are the best. Cesar Romero is the Joker, is my favorite.
He's a good Joker. Like there was a long while where we thought there couldn't be a bad Joker. And Cesar Romero was the start of just a run of very good Jokers.
Oh, and the mustache. He'd paint over the mustache. If you see me with the mustache, it's an ode to the old Cesar Romero Joker. And just Caesar in particular. Great villains. Batman is phenomenal, and he's always got good villains that he's against. Christian Bale is my favorite like actor of all the guys, though, I would say. Clooney, favorite superstar by all means, but like I think the best actor is Christian Bale of everyone. The being a method actor that he is, the fact that he played Batman. Like it took me about 10 years to ever go back and watch those, but he's good as a character, but different than a regular Batman movie. I like the goofy, zany 90s
Yeah. No,
Christian Bale. I watched that for a
definitely a
Christian Bale
matter of
movie, not for.
style, and that's what I like
Mhm.
about all the different Batmans is that you the concern is not just who's the Batman, or it's like, well, what's the tone of this one? What's
And the Tim Burton ones had zany, but zany scary.
scary? Yeah,
It was like a thing will be a smile on it, but it's a bomb.
Mhm.
Whereas
You
like
know,
the 90s, the smile and it's a joke or a goof or something.
Yeah,
It's Mr.
you get a
Freeze
lot
with the
more bright colors in
slipper.
your Val Kilmer, George Clooney era. You get down and dirty in your um Christian Bale era. It's more
Mhm.
realistic, and I think in this, I mean, I still think it's kind of what they were going for with Ben Affleck, with Robert Pattinson now, but they're going more for that dark, angry Batman that just is,
Mhm.
you gonna eat this justice, bitch.
I like the husky slippers on Mr. Freeze era Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very lavish Batman in that era. Very rich, very rich. Awesome. All right. Back to wrestling, because this is a wrestling podcast. Hey guys, let's wrestle this weekend. What we got coming up? Perch, let's start with you.
Going to kick it off with Warrior Wrestling on Sunday, back in Chicago this time around. I believe right across the street from the United Center. AEW and New Japan is presenting the Forbidden Door at about 7 o'clock that night. But Warrior Wrestling is having a show right across the street at, I think, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So going to be some crossover stars and a lot of independent stars, and definitely referee Perch calling the action right down the middle. Can watch it on Fight TV or be there in person. Just a short drive to Chicago. It's going to be a fun time for pro wrestling.
Hell yeah, brother. And Zach.
yes, sir. We are kicking off Friday. The wrestling taco out in is it West Dallas?
I believe so.
Yeah, Bruce said he's going to be hosting at the wrestling taco out in West Dallas, Wisconsin. I don't know who we're wrestling yet, but Doc and I will be there in action. Body slamming people and eating a bunch of tacos.
Hell yeah. Great. Yep, love the tacos. Happy to be back. It's where I won my first royal title, so gonna go back and try to win another one. And then Saturday we are down in Mattoon, Illinois at 01 Wrestling. We will be once again challenging for those ever elusive 01 tag titles against the Premier. What's your prediction, Zach?
I don't know, man. Like, this has been a few months now. I feel like every month we're so close to against those 01 USA Tag Team Championships. I don't want to doubt us because I know our abilities, and we definitely can be on that great list of 01 tag champions. But last few months, the Premier have proven that time and time again they have like an ace or up their sleeve. So
it's not easy being champions for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not going to discredit them at all, but I think tides are turning. I think the fans are wanting it. I think we're the tag team that needs to deliver it. So my prediction, fuck it, bet on ourselves. We're going to be the new 01 USA Tag Team Champions.
Hell yeah. Soup, SK. I'm watching Dynamite. I know your weakness, power bombs and clotheslines. So expect to see that all this weekend. Yeah.
I mean, we came off if you see SK, if you're listening to this, you heard our weekend. We didn't have a hot weekend. We lost the tag title. We lost a big match. You're talking about dogs with the wall, with the backs up against the wall. You're talking about us right now. We're hungry. Need to get back to our winning ways, and there's no better way than winning a brand new title.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, and with that, next time we wind it down. Zach, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
No, I mean, maybe it's good to see Elias is going to be back on TV.
Yep. Ready to walk with him.
Yes, sir.
Perch, final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I saw Great Muda, something scheduled for I think the start of the year, January. So stay tuned.
Very nice. Yep, he's gonna go on that tour. Just January. It's very weird. That's Wrestle Kingdom time. So
yeah, it was just like a cryptic message that I saw of some sort. It may have been a poster, but it was tough to decipher.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it looked like it was several months out, but it showed a picture of Muda. And yeah, maybe January around that time.
I mean, he's got to show up in New Japan at some point doing his final run. So
I hope so.
We'll
and
see.
saw the brackets released for New Japan as well.
Yep, they just released the G1 some of the matchups. So I'll be happy to catch up to that once it's time. Is that it for you?
Oh yeah.
All right. And for me, why don't you guys go ahead and let us know your top 3 favorite Batmen down in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to like us on all of our social media posts, and follow all the promotions that book us, and tell other promotions to book us because we want to wrestle in the city near you. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.